I'm back, and just in time for an absolutely epic storm with a bomb cyclone that could have pressures equivalent to a hurricane. Now, this storm could bring a blizzard to some and days of severe weather to many. Now, when will this all go down? We'll have that and more in your forecast starting now. Let's do this. Gosh, it feels so good to be back, guys. Sorry for that lull in activity. This is my first forecast video since I had that old fall out of the Dow. Don't worry, we're back and ready to roll. So first, looking at our weather warning map, we really don't have a lot of warnings out there right now. We've got some wind warnings and some red flag warnings in the upper Midwest as well as into Montana, where we are expecting some high winds over the next day or two. We've even got some flood watches down here in Florida, or some heavy rain, and maybe some severe weather is possible today and tomorrow. And very quickly, taking a look at that severe weather risk for today, we've got a marginal risk for some severe thunderstorms in southern Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. This is not our storm system that we're worried about. That will come later in the week on Friday. But no, you could have some strong storms down there in Florida, places like Gainesville, Tallahassee, even into Panama City and Destin. You guys have a 2% risk of tornadoes today, along with Jacksonville as well. But guys, that is just the pre-show. That's the opening act at the concert. That's the first salvo in the war, or the first pitch at a baseball game. We got a long ways to go, and the strongest storm is yet to come. Let's first take a look at the upper level pattern, because that'll give us a good idea about when this storm will hit. So Sunday into Monday, we've got this trough down here going through the southeast. That will be our catalyst for all that rain and some of those scattered strong storms on Sunday and Monday in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Now, Monday night into Tuesday, that storm system will quickly push off the east coast, and you'll notice there'll be a general ridge of high pressure of the United States. That'll allow some very warm temperatures to build in places like the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and the Southeast. So a warm week is ahead of us. That's great news for all of those who have been in a deep thaw like myself in Ohio. Now, as that warmth builds, you'll notice there's a storm system down here Tuesday. That is not our storm just yet. That is actually a disturbance that'll move through the United States on Wednesday. Could bring some rain to the southeast once again. And a lot of people are wondering, could this system be a moisture grabber for the system behind it? It was looking like it was going to do that a couple of days ago, but now not so much. Check it out, Thursday and Friday. Here's our big storm system that we were talking about taking shape over New Mexico and Colorado. Watch as it comes off the mountains here Friday and absolutely ejects, bombs out. We've got a very strong jet streak right here with a very strong upper level low just off to the northwest. That is a big time signal for severe weather, and a signal like this is what we're looking for a lot of the time in the long term. Now, this is a graphic I created, and it gives you some good tips about severe weather forecast. And right now, we're right between this 5 to 7 and 3 to 5 days away from this event. So what we're doing now is we're monitoring the trends. We're looking at the upper level pattern, and right now that upper level pattern is very favorable. And we're also starting to look for, are the conditions in place for a widespread severe weather event? And right now the answer is yes. This is a really good graphic to use when you're looking at forecasting for severe weather with examples of maps and other things like that. So feel free to use it whenever you want. I put a screenshot of this on my Twitter at StormCat5. Check it out there. This is Friday. Going into Friday night, we'll have this very strong upper level low. Watch as we go into Saturday. That storm system continues moving off to the east, and we've got another area of energy that's forming down here in the south. So we'll likely have 2 days of severe weather, one on Friday and one on Saturday. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted this massive area on day 6, and they give about a 15% chance of getting severe weather. And that's very aggressive this far out. That just shows you how bullish the Storm Prediction Center is on this event. We've also had a day 7 15% outlook as well. So that's Saturday. This is going to be a multi-day severe weather event. Stop what you're doing right now. Pick up your mouse in your hand just like this, throw it in the air, grab it again, hit the subscribe button, and mash the like button, and leave a comment below. Look, someone's leaving a comment. This video is so cool. Wow. Back to you, Stormcast. So we talked about the upper level pattern. We talked about the severe threat at a high level, but let's get more into the details of when this will happen and when the blizzard could happen, and are all the ingredients there for a massive severe weather outbreak. So Sunday and Monday, really the only areas of precipitation are going to be in the southeast, like we already talked about. And going into the middle part of the week, it's going to be a quiet week for the most part. Tuesday and Wednesday and even Thursday, a lot of the country will be rain-free and warmer than normal. You might get some showers here and maybe a couple rumbles of thunder here in the southeast on Thursday. And then out west, once again, stop me if you heard this before, we'll get some heavy mountain snow in the Sierra Nevadas and the Cascades right along the Pacific Northwest. And that will actually be the start of our very strong storm system that'll bring us all of that severe weather and those blizzard conditions. Now watch as we go into Friday what happens here. This is really cool, guys. You'll notice a strong low pressure of 981 millibars forms right off the Rocky Mountains. And then going into the day on Friday, this thing absolutely bombs out. The GFS has this at 971 millibars. With pressures like that, we're normally talking about a hurricane, but this time it's over land. Now watch what happens as we go into Friday night. Our storm system gets even more organized with very heavy snow on the northern side and the western side, which is where we could have blizzard-like conditions with heavy snow and winds gusting 40, 50, 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour in spots. So North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, maybe even into northern Wisconsin and up into Canada, you guys will be on blizzard watch for Friday into Saturday. And with this strong low, you'll have a cold front right here. And that green, notice how it's not very heavy. That is your signal for some very strong storms. And right now, it looks like a combination of a line as well as supercells are all possible. I can't explain to you how strong this storm actually is. As far as spring low pressures go, this is definitely on the high end side. Going into Saturday, our low will cut to the northeast where a massive snow shield with some ice and freezing rain will continue to bring blizzard conditions in the upper Midwest and into Canada. And then going into Saturday evening, another low will actually develop down here in the southeast. And as our focal point for another round of severe weather on Saturday in Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, even into Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And then going into Sunday, we'll have some leftover showers and storms that'll push into the northeast. Right now, though, the signs are that it'll just be rain, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder. I don't think Sunday looks as impressive severe weather-wise like we could be on Friday and Saturday. And then by the time we hit Monday, that storm system will be on out of here. And everyone will be like, woohoo, it's done. Now, another part of this storm system is going to be the wind. And regardless of if the severe weather threat will materialize, huge swaths of the country are going to get very strong, possibly even power outage type winds. Now, on Friday, the plains will be the big recipient of those winds, with North Dakota all the way down to Texas getting hurricane force wind gusts. You guys remember the storm system that we had last week? This one will be very similar in terms of the winds. So fire danger, we could have dust storms, and we will likely have blizzard warnings that go up for this part of the country. As this low hooks through the northeast, those winds are going to continue sliding with it. So places like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Ohio Valley and Michigan, I'd expect a pretty windy day on Saturday. And then obviously this signal down here is for the severe weather on Saturday, where we could get a pretty strong squall line that pushes through. Strong winds likely. Whew. Okay, so looking at Friday and Saturday, do we have all the ingredients needed for a widespread severe weather outbreak? Let's go line by line here. Now, the first thing we need are dew points generally greater than 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That just means there's a lot of moisture in the air, and we need that moisture desperately for severe weather. Now, looking at our dew points, looks like we have a very big swath of 60-degree dew points here. So as of right now, that moisture is in place. Check that off the list. Now, for a tornado outbreak, we also generally need a strong low-level jet. And all that means is the winds at about 850 millibars, which is not that far above your heads, are incredibly strong. Check it out. There's our winds at 850. The brighter the colors, the stronger the wind. And we have quite a big signal here for some very strong wind. That low-level jet looks like it'll be really ramping up here Friday night into Saturday. Check. We also need strong wind shear, so we can check that one off the list without even having to look at it. Check. Now, we also need high helicity values and high Cape values. The higher the helicity, generally, the more rotation, the more fuel for tornadoes. And the high Cape values, those are your fuel for thunderstorms. So once again, remember, Cape, that's like your Gatorade for thunderstorms. Your helicity is like your Gatorade for tornadoes. I know, I'm kind of a Pedialyte guy. I don't really like all the sugar in Gatorade anyway. This is your helicity Friday. Going into Saturday, we've got a big area of some pretty strong helicity values, so I don't think that's going to be a problem, as the thermodynamics, the wind profiles with this storm will be highly favorable to tornadoes. Now, Cape values won't be as impressive as we're used to for massive severe weather outbreaks, but it should be enough to help these thunderstorms explode in a very favorable wind environment for severe weather and even tornadoes. But this, along with the uncertainty and the moisture, could be the two limiting factors for this event, and those will be the things we'll need to watch as we go throughout the week this week. Now, Colorado State also has a model that runs for severe weather, and we're already seeing for Friday this big area of red, which is a very strong signal for some bad severe weather on Friday. Okay, so we talked a lot about the severe weather. We got a lot more details. We'll have more and more videos this week. Now, how much snow is going to fall with this bomb cyclone that's going to hit? And even though we'll have a blizzard, I don't think we're going to be talking about feet of snow here in the Midwest. I think we'll be talking about inches with up to a foot maybe in some places, especially if there are some big time snow drifts. But I think the Dakotas as well as Nebraska, even into northwest Minnesota, you're generally going to get about 3 to 6 inches, maybe more in some spots, but you'll probably still have blizzard warnings mainly because of the wind. Now, skiers out west are going to be really happy because another dumping of snow once again. Stop me if you've heard that before. More mountain snow, skiers rejoice. And once again, Ohio doesn't have any snow. I think we're done. Wait, hold on. Do you see that little bit of gray here? Maybe a little something? Nah. You know what? At least it's going to be warm for the eastern United States. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Cold in the west with all that snow and warm in the east. We're talking about temperatures of 10 to 20 degrees above normal. Finally, it gets warm. I'm so sick of the cold because we're not getting any snow. More of the same, the 8 to 14 day. The west stays cold and the east stays warm. All right, guys, well, that about does it for today's video. I know it was a long one, but I wanted to explain a lot that was going on with that severe weather. Now, we've got a pretty exciting week ahead of us on Thursday. I know I'm not showing the graphic. We're going to have max velocity on the podcast, and we'll have that live on Thursday night here on YouTube, available free to everyone. And Friday into Saturday, also watch out for a live stream as well, potentially. We'll have to monitor those trends. I'm so happy to be back doing forecast videos. Thank you guys for bearing with me as I can cover from that embarrassing fall right out of the Dow. We've got some big plans this year. Make sure you follow me over on X at Stormcat5. Make sure you follow the Stormfront Freak account as well. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. God has truly blessed me, and I can't wait for the future. Like I always say, this week, find someone, tell them you love them, give them a hug, do something nice for someone this week. Spread that love. I'm going to say it. Well, I'm going to say it. It's Stormcat 5, and I'll see you on the next one.